And so, yeah, I grew up in Inglewood, went to college, got a degree in social work, did that for about 5 or 6 years, hit burnout, hit like
Mm,
my breaking point. And so I
mm,
went on a leave of absence and I had to do some soul searching and really figure out what I loved and I liked to do. And so it always came back to beauty supplies and hair.
mm,
And so it's a funny story my sisters tell. When I first graduated from high school, I wanted to go to hair school. I wanted to get into the
mm,
cosmetology industry. And my parents were like, absolutely not. You're going to go get a degree and then you can do that later. So now we
mm,
laugh and joke with my dad and say, you know what? I definitely did go get my degree, but look what I'm doing later. So it's
mm.
like,
Wow.
I went to school for one thing and just had a personal pivot in my life and just decided to do things that really honored like what was true inside of me and just kind of
Mm,
chasing like what I was passionate about and not just really doing something for a paycheck and stability. And now that I'm chasing my passions, stability is like one of the things that just comes with it. So that's my
mm,
story. I started off with one small beauty supply store as a pop-up shop. It did pretty well. When I realized that I could kind of figure out how to make it profitable, not make a ton of money, but just
mm.
profitable, I said, well, let me take some time away from my full time job and see if I can make this work. And then one store turned into two, and then two turned into three. And here we are now with getting ready to open up our seventh location with the Girl Cave LA. So
Wow.
it's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. And before we jump into the Girl Cave LA, you said something that I'm really curious about. You spoke about that pivot moment in your life and really you having to take some time off and do some soul searching. That's something that I think a lot of people they don't take advantage or maybe they don't understand how they can do that for themselves. So what were some practical steps or what were some of the things that you did to really do some soul searching and figure out what it is that you were passionate about?
Right. So the first thing I did is I turned off the noise. So I got off the social
Mm,
media. I took like a big social media fast because I didn't want to be influenced by things and images I was seeing of other
mm,
people and then trying to mold or model what I was going to do next off of what I saw someone else do. So the first thing I
okay,
did was
good.
I got off social media. The second thing is that I picked three people that I trusted. So it was my dad, it was my husband at the time, and my sister. And I
Mm,
every idea that came to me, I made sure I spoke to those people about it, but I asked them to keep it confidential because I wanted
mm,
to hear their true and honest and valuable opinions. So definitely select a core group of people, people who you can trust, people that are going to honor your wishes as far as keeping it private and won't bring it up at dinner with
mm,
so and
yeah.
so, or you know, spread your business before you know what you're going to do. And so getting their feedback was really valuable. And then the third thing was just spending time with myself, right? Like seeing the things that I was drawn to without
Mm,
the distractions of other people's voices and without the distractions of social media. Like, what does Lia like? What does Lia love? What is Lia good at? And kind of
mm,
writing those things down from my head to paper made a huge difference. And then from that, I was able to see what I like to do, but then also understand the risk involved. And before I
mm,
jumped in and quit my job, because there's this, everybody says, oh, quit your 9 to 5. And that
mm,
sounds great. But the truth is that I couldn't quit my 9 to 5 right away. I had responsibilities. I didn't know if
mm,
I was going to be able to make this business work. I didn't want to be a newly married person and leave my husband in a situation where he married me
right.
employed. And then, 6 months later, I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me just start this business. So I had to be, truthful and honest about all of those things. And so really just being quiet, talking to trusted people and getting off the internet was the shift for me.